Hi, I'm Jessica from Berg's Crochet and welcome back to another cozy crochet vlog. Today's video is the last of this kind of group of videos that I made back when I first started the idea of I want to do a YouTube channel. And I've explained this a couple times, so I won't go into depth, but I basically was just taking a bunch of clips because I wanted to start recording stuff and I really didn't know what videos they were going to fit into or how I was going to use them yet. So this is the last batch of footage that I took and I didn't want to waste it. I wanted to share it with you guys. So essentially the way this video is going to work, it's going to kind of end up being like a week in the life. So there's lots of clips from throughout the week and it's a little bit of business, it's a little bit of fun and hanging out with my family, it's a little bit of crochet, it's a little bit of my subscription boxes, and it's just kind of a week in my life, some behind the scenes stuff, and definitely some crochet in there. So you guys gotta let me know what you think. I am actually literally right now in the middle of recording another week in the life, but this one was a lot more intentional because I actually knew what I was like. I knew what video it was going to be a part of. So let me know, do you like week in the life videos? Do you prefer a week in the life or a day in the life? You know, like one's a little bit more in depth, one's a little bit more covering a wider range of time. But anyway, without further ado, here is a week in the life, a little smorgasbord of clips for you. Look at this cute little milestone. 100 subscribers. I was sitting at 52 subscribers literally yesterday, and I made a post on my TikTok and my Instagram saying, hey, if you guys really want me to make a YouTube channel, go and subscribe right now, even though it's not really anything yet, because I want to know that, you know, this will show me that you guys actually really want me to do this, and I don't want to put all the effort into editing videos if no one really is actually going to go watch. So the fact that I've essentially doubled my subscriber count just from making one post about it is very encouraging. And I was watching one of the channels that I like to watch, and it's so funny because normally their content is completely different, but they randomly uploaded this video on, hey, if you want to start doing YouTube and you want to grow and make it into like a thing, here are my kind of best tips. And watching that video and hearing him talk about how he's been able to turn it into a career that like provides for his family and everything, I'm like, dang, this was really inspiring. And now I just really want to get to it. So anyway, it was really cool when I tabbed over to, I've just had this little live count up as a tab just to kind of keep an eye on it. And I thought it was cool that I hit 100 subscribers. So, you know, every little milestone is always super exciting, and 100 is very exciting. That means I'm a 10th of the way there to having 1,000 followers, which is kind of the first of the couple requirements that you have to be able to start actually monetizing your account. So exciting stuff. Good morning. I just woke up. And I'm not getting the start to my day that I normally would like to. I've been trying to wake up early with Michael around 6:30 and have some quiet time with Jesus and get out for a walk and then come back and get myself ready for the day, get the house tidied up, and then start work. That's kind of been my morning routine that I'm trying to achieve. However, last night we had life group at our house, our young adult life group, and it's just a group of amazing friends, and we have them over every week, and we have dinner together, and we spend some time doing a little Bible study, we pray together, we hang out, we have way too much fun, and we laugh way too much. And so we had life group last night, and I had the worst heartburn. I did not fall asleep until late. I couldn't fall asleep. So I didn't end up getting up super early this morning. Today's not a normal work day. Instead of just, you know, staying here in the studio and doing all the things, I am actually going to Greenfield Village with my family Emily was here for life group last night, my sister, and she told me that they are going to Greenfield Village. I think this is part of the birthday celebration for my niece. And if you're not a Michigan person and you don't know what Greenfield Village is, essentially it is like a historic home. I live very close to Detroit in Dearborn, which is like the birthplace and, you know, home of Ford Motor Company. So it's Henry Ford put this whole place together basically. So you've got the birthplace of Henry Ford, and then they started bringing all these historic homes to create this, you know, village basically. So like Noah Webster's home is there. There's a fully functioning farm there where they do all the things and they grow plants and they have animals, and it's just it's a really cool place. We used to go there all the time growing up, and I haven't been in a long time, so I'm excited. They have a little train you can ride around. It's cool. So I think I'm gonna take my camera with me and take some clips, bring you guys along for the journey, because it's not directly related to crochet, but it is a fun little break from work that I'm going to take. But before I go to Greenfield Village, I have some work to do. Because I did not get up super early, I am behind on getting the podcast edited and uploaded. I was not very productive yesterday, and the day got away from me, and I did not get the podcast edited. It's Tuesday, so the podcast needs to go up today, and usually I have it set to go up early in the morning, but I'm behind. So I need to edit and get the podcast uploaded today. It will happen today, but I'd much rather get that done before I go to Greenfield Village than have it hanging over my head and have to do it when I get home. So I'm about to sit down and do that. I've got my coffee, I've got my breakfast, and I'm going to sit and edit. But also an exciting thing, we recently started doing paid advertising, paid marketing for Berg Quarterly. And for a while there, I was kind of holding my breath. It's only been a few days, but I was kind of holding my breath going, okay, I'm spending money, and I can see the analytics, like it's getting sent out to people, the you know, impressions and the reach and everything. And I've even had some clicks, but I hadn't had any purchases yet. And obviously that's kind of like the whole reason to do this thing. Well, yesterday I had my very first subscription come through directly from marketing. I went through and looked, and I could see that it came through from Facebook. So that was super exciting. I felt like, oh my gosh, it's working, it's happening. And then this morning I woke up to another subscription. This time it came from Instagram, because the marketing is going across Facebook and Instagram. So that's really, really exciting that it's working. And what's cool about it is, as long as these people stay subscribed and they don't cancel, the money that I'm spending to advertise to them is well worth it, because that's a one-time cost for this subscription box. But as long as they stay subscribed, like over time, it will be even more and more worth the investment that I originally put in to reach them, you know? I watched a really good YouTube video on just kind of like best practices for if you want to start marketing through Facebook. And I'm coming up to the point now, because he says, like, you know, get your ad together, publish it, and then don't touch it for a few days, because you want to collect data and you want to be able to see, like, where is it going right, where is it going wrong. And he did say you're going to expect to see about 1 to 2 sales in the first few days, which is exactly where I'm at right now. So that's encouraging. But basically I'm coming up to the point now where I can really start to take a hard look at the data points and start to make tweaks and changes to kind of get more conversions and all that kind of stuff. So that's not something I'm going to be able to do right this second, but maybe I can take a look at it today when I get home from Greenfield Village. I don't know. But anyway, I do not have forever to work on this, so I need to get to work, and we'll see you later.
74. I'm Jess.
I'm Meg.
And we are the Crochet Baes.
But I'm just now getting into the second row of trees. One row of trees.
You're so lazy.
Not one
From
row.
this angle, all you can see is just this little mouth going, nah, nah.
Jump, man.
So what I need to do is I need to do what I've done for other projects, because I feel like I picked up a lot of skills during my 8 blankets in a year challenge.
Okay, that took way longer than expected. I was having a lot of issues with getting the video and the audio to sync up, and it was super frustrating, but it is finally done, and I did manage to get it done in time to upload before my mom gets here to pick me up for Greenfield Village. So I'm gonna get this fully up on Spotify, get myself ready, eat a little something, and then we are heading to Greenfield Village.
If you ever have a chance, stop by and go inside, see what life was like for Henry.
Really didn't, you know? So it was a lot that went on here. I wish and then all you work
Canvas covered wooden arms or sails.
Back in the 90s we go.
I love it.
Yeah, we're letting it go out now. That's the whole idea during the summer months. You want to have your big meal right around noontime. That way you don't have to fire all in the afternoon. So you let the house cool down.
Smart.
Rather than trying to start fire at 1 in the afternoon.
right over there. And of course now we gotta pour dishes.
Oh, this blue sky is good too.
Mima loves those.
Mima loves those.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I'm talking about those.
This is so pretty.
You also love those.
And Kiki loves them too, right?
It's made out of marzipan, so it's an almond paste, which means the almonds that are sticking out of it are going to be.
There you go.
Yes.
Perfect for this house. Mr. Webster is a great American government. And that's key for discommon.
Ooh.
Discommon. What does it start with? B? Maybe C next. Yeah, C.
O M.
Another M.
M.
And then O N. Like common.
Pretty good.
Common.
That's
In his dictionary, it's been all fixed up compared to Noah's. He had cranberry sauce recipes in it, how to raise your kids in there. And
We're gonna go to sleep.
You know what? They don't like some of this food anyway.
When we open the gate, we ask that you walk on the concrete, the animal of your choosing. Once you get there though, pay attention to the animal's feet. If all of its feet are...
Good ice cream? How's your ice cream, Dad? Good. It's Friday. Happy Friday. We are in the studio. You can probably hear the laser behind me. It's working hard. And I've got my coffee. It's almost lunchtime. We're gonna have some tacos for lunch. And actually pretty soon I'm gonna get started on cooking up the taco meat so it's ready when Michael gets on his lunch break. But It's been a productive day so far today, thank goodness, because this week I have been in a slump, a funk, if you will. Just every day this week I just could not seem to really get myself going, but today I had a really great start to the day. I woke up early, I had some really lovely quiet time with Jesus with some coffee and my breakfast. I went for a walk. I ended up walking on my treadmill today. It looks pretty bright outside right now, but this morning it was looking very ominous and it was supposed to rain. I don't know if it ever ended up actually raining, but I decided to walk on the treadmill in the basement, and I did that just a mile today, just really quick, because I wanted to really get going with the rest of my day. But then I took a shower and cleaned up the house a little bit, and now here we are. I have a nice little stack of orders that need to be finished and packaged and shipped, and that is my primary goal today, is to get caught up on orders. I have an order that's engraving right now, which is an order of 60 custom leather tags, and I already had caramel colored leather on my machine pinned down, so I decided to do that order first, even though it's actually the most recent order out of all of them, just because it's easier to do what's right there if it's already on the machine. So I have 60 of those custom tags. I also have a set of my summer fun flyer patches, the summer bundle. So there are 9 of those round patches, and that is a pattern to make a little crochet frisbee. Super, super cute. I have an order for 30 custom tags in the cream color, so we'll be doing those. I have a set of my wooden pickle buttons. They're little pickle chip shaped buttons, so we'll have to make those. And then last but not least, I have an order for 20 custom tags in the black and silver color. So my goal is to get all of those orders made, packaged, and shipped. Well, I'm not going to be able to package and ship the pickle buttons today because they're going to need some time with the stain and everything to sit and cure and evaporate a little bit. But I can still package those and get them sent out tomorrow. I have a very, very small little amount of summer Berg box quarterlies left, which is super exciting. When I first sent out my initial big shipment of boxes, and then I had the extra ones that I had made, they were stacked several rows deep all the way up to the top of my yarn wall. So the fact that that's all that's left is just incredible. And every time I get a new order, I slap a shipping label on it and I send it out right away, because they're sitting there, they're ready to go. And here's to hoping that over the next couple weeks, those last few will find their homes. I think we can do it. It's really exciting. So that's the update for today. Yeah. Yeah. For tax write-ups.
Make sure you subscribe before you leave today. I post new videos every Monday, occasionally on Thursdays. They're always crochet, knit, craft related, and I would love to have you be a part of the community if you would love to join me. Share this with your other thrift, crochet, knit friends, people who need some encouragement to save some blankets from the thrift store. By the way, I have mentioned in a previous video, but all I do for these is wash them on delicate and then hang dry them. Sometimes I do throw them in the dryer, just on a very low delicate tumble type of dryer.
Well, I was crocheting, but somebody thinks that my crochet pillow is her personal relaxing space. We're watching some cozy crochet vlogs. The plan was to crochet along while watching vlogs, but as you can see, my plans have been thwarted.
I just have been so incredibly busy this week, so much going on, and I do apologize. I haven't been able to keep up with the vlog very much this week, but I also think it's kind of important to show this because I think a lot of the times you guys see me having weeks where I am just making project after project. I'm getting so much done, and while I am getting a lot of things done, it's not a lot of things to show you. It's like me sitting at my computer doing computer.
Hi guys. I need to clean my laser. She's been working very hard. She's been making a lot of items. She's also covered in Duncan's cat hair because Duncan thinks that this laser enclosure is her personal hangout spot. And it's a light pink because of course I painted it blush pink. Are you kidding me? Do you know who I am? So any of her black cat hair shows up because it's such a light pink color. But anyway, this thing has been working very hard and she deserves a little TLC, and that is what we're going to do today. It's not going to take a super long time, but let me tell you, this is something that I put off. I procrastinate when it comes to laser maintenance, and I shouldn't. I always, like, I don't let it get to a point where it's really, really bad, but I will always put off the cleaning because it's just, like, it's not fun. It's not the fun part of the business, but it is a very necessary part, especially if I want my laser to live a long, healthy life. And of course I do. The main part we need to clean is the actual laser itself. We need to clean the whole module, a lot of little intricate parts that just get full of the ash and dust and particles that happen when you're engraving and burning and cutting wood and faux leather. Luckily, since I mostly work with faux leather, my laser actually, like, there's plenty of people who do laser engraving as a business that work with materials that are much more dirty. Like, they produce ash and residue a lot more quickly, and therefore their machines have to be cleaned a lot more frequently. The faux leather doesn't require a like crazy high amount of power. Sorry, I'm gonna pull these blinds closed because they keep, every time I move, the lighting is like freaking out. Will we still have enough natural light if I do that? I'm still learning the lighting stuff, okay? So just be patient with me. Anyway, what was I saying? Faux leather doesn't require a crazy huge amount of power, and so the less power and the less heat, it just doesn't produce as much ash and residue. I just did like a quick wipe down of the outside. This lighting's not great either, is it? I do have that light. That helps. I want to show you guys what my laser looks like. We should do a before and after, right? I love a before and after. This is what my laser looks like. I did just wipe down the outside, which I don't know if it would have been that visible of a difference, but isn't she a beaut? I've got a whole system that routes the smoke and fumes and exhaust out from the enclosure outside. So Michael put this all together for me. This is like one of those little window things you can do for like an air conditioning unit, but we're using it to keep the fumes out, and it goes into the machine. He built this laser enclosure for me. He did a fantastic job. It's obviously massive, but the laser is big, and this gives me the capacity to make a lot at one time. Basically, I did put some cute little like wallpaper, like wall stickers on it, and I did paint it blush pink because I'm not gonna have, like, if it's gonna be huge and take up a lot of space, it needs to be cute. You know what I mean? The previous laser enclosure I had was a soft, like, plastic material one, and it was black, and it was not this big, but it was just ugly. It just was ugly. So when I decided to, we were gonna expand my laser to be larger capacity, I knew we were probably gonna have to build something custom because they don't make a lot of laser enclosures that are this large, but also I wanted to be able to customize it and make it pretty. And so that's exactly what we did. We bought this orange. I know it's a little hard to see, it's orange when it's closed, but you can obviously see when it's open. And the reason why we have the orange acrylic is it helps to filter out the blue light from the laser. And so it helps kind of filter out the light that would be harmful to your eyes. And as you can see, there is, I'll turn on my light in here. There is an additional orange acrylic guard on the laser itself. So you've kind of got like 2 layers of filtration so that your eyes are nice and protected. But can you believe my Michael built this for me? He did such a good job. And he mounted all the things in here nicely for me. So it's got this little hinge that it will stay open on its own when it's open. We've got plenty of windows to be able to look in. I can see easily from when I'm sitting here. And then when I'm standing, I can look in through these windows. There is a webcam in here because sometimes I go live on TikTok and I like to show like the laser as it's working. So I've got a webcam in here. This is the inside of the fan, and this is the dial that turns it on. So I always have that running at max capacity, and you can see the fans running. I should probably get up there and clean all of that debris. And then this light switch, which is also kind of dirty, because I'm always pressing it with after I've been handling, you know, and my hands get dirty. But this is the light that Michael mounted underneath here for me so that I can see what's going on. This is a honeycomb grid, and basically the material sits on top of this, and the reason why we have this is because it allows airflow, and airflow is really, really important when you're working on cutting and engraving with a laser, because not only does it help the laser to cut all the way through the object, which is more important with stuff like wood, thicker materials. With leather, it's not as big of a deal, but still important. But it also helps, it gives the heat somewhere to go. So instead of the heat from the laser just sitting on the surface of whatever it is you're engraving, especially when you're cutting and the laser is going all the way through the material, if it's just a flat surface, the heat basically stops, and that heat will gather, and what will end up happening is your piece will have like charring underneath it. And so all these little gaps help give the heat somewhere to go so that it's not just sitting underneath your project. And then there's also this little air tube, and this shoots compressed air out right where the laser is working to also help blow that heat away. And that is not located in here, it's actually under my desk. And Michael did such a great job mounting all this stuff for me. So this air compressor tube goes all the way around. There's a hole that he drilled in my counter in the back where all these wires go down. And that wire goes all the way to this button right here. And this, you can hear it kicking on. It's actually just like a fish tank air pump. It's back there. And then it pumps the air out, and you can hear it coming out here. If I ever forget to turn this on, I can immediately tell the difference in the quality of the image and how it cuts based on whether that compressed air is running or not. Even with all the precautions, with the fan pulling the fumes and the compressed air, you know, pushing the heat and the fumes out, it obviously still gathers over time. Every once in a while, I will take the honeycomb out and I will hit it with some spray and let it clean, but it does just kind of get stained and dirty over time. Like you can see, it's been cleaned since all of this has happened, but it's just kind of, you know, eventually I'll probably get a new honeycomb grid, but it works just fine. It's just kind of like stained, for lack of a better term. But this laser, this actual module right here, needs regular maintenance and cleaning. And I have made quite a few projects since the last time I've cleaned it, and so it's time. This acrylic should be basically totally clear, and I don't know if you guys can see. There's a lot of soot, there's a lot of buildup, especially back here. And so we're gonna take this guard off, we're gonna clean all that stuff and get it looking nice and new before we keep working on it. We took a little break to have lunch. I'm sitting here and I am hardly able to keep my eyes open. I am so tempted to go lay down in my bed and take a nap. And here's the justification. The wheels start turning in my brain. I'm like, Michael's going to the game store tonight. This is his night where he goes and plays Magic with his friends. I could just take a nap now and then I could work in the evening, right? Because that's the time freedom that I have as a small business owner. One, I know that if I take a nap now, I will be less likely to wake up and be like, all right, I'm ready to go in the evening. I would say pretty rarely when I do that to myself and I say, I'm gonna chill now, and then I'll swap. Instead of, you know, relaxing and being done with work in the evening, I will get to work in the evening. It usually doesn't end up happening. It's just wishful thinking. And my sleep schedule has been kind of messed up, and if I take a nap right now, all I will be doing is making my sleep schedule even more out of whack, and I really don't want to do that. So I am going to force myself to get up. I'm going to do it right now. And we are going to continue actually cleaning this laser and literally just talking to you guys and getting up. I'm already feeling better. Actually, we're gonna put you guys down here. So I am just gonna show you what this process looks like. The very first thing we have to do is actually get the current material off of the honeycomb. So with the honeycomb grid, there are these little pins that you can purchase, and basically it helps because sometimes, especially with the heat from the laser, it can cause your material to want to like warp and pucker a little bit. And so with these pins, you kind of just stick them down into the honeycombs and it pins your material down in place so that it doesn't shift. Also, sometimes depending on the material, as it kind of like warps from the heat, if it gets potentially caught on this guard, it will start to drag the material, and not only will that mess up your engraving, but that's actually a fire hazard, because let's say it gets caught and it's dragging, and instead of the laser moving across the piece, now it's stuck on one point. Way more words are hard. A way higher chance of that object catching on fire, and we do not want that. Safety is of the utmost. I'm cutting off the just like scrap pieces that we don't need, and then the bigger pieces will go back into the drawers. This is the black and silver, so I've got a drawer for my black and silver. That goes in there. This is gonna go in the garbage. Okay, now we have a blank surface to work with. Truthfully, I should be cleaning this whole thing. I need to pull this honeycomb up because there's an aluminum sheet underneath it, and every time I cut leather and I cut the little hole for the rivets, it drops a little circle of leather, I call it forbidden confetti, down into this aluminum sheet. And the more those little confetti pieces start to build up, the more soot and residue is going to be, because the laser is firing down into that material instead of just on the aluminum where it's just going to hit and, you know, not do anything. And so you wouldn't think that that would make that much of a difference, but you can actually start to see when the laser starts to work not as effectively when too much of that debris starts piling up underneath. So I'm going to actually pull you guys out of here because you're going to be in the way. The air tube is caught. There we go. This air tube gets all full of soot, so I just like to clean that a little bit. You can see all the gunk that came off. Once I get into it, the cleaning part is actually really satisfying. I'm always so glad once it's done. It's also really not as dramatic as my brain makes it out to be. You guys have tasks like that where you avoid them because you're like, ugh, it's gonna be this whole thing, and then when you actually do it, you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. And it didn't take as long as I thought it was gonna take. And it didn't take as much effort as I thought it was gonna take. Okay, that looks a lot better. I'm going through a Bible study with the other women in our young adult life group. We just started it a few weeks ago, so this is like week 3 or week 4. And it has this book that has lessons and stuff, but then you also do, they call them quiet times. I mean, it's like, you know, sitting down with your Bible and praying and that kind of stuff. But it like walks you through a specific way to do it. And so I've been doing that in the mornings, and that's been such a fantastic way to start my day. And today's quiet time, the scripture reference was Colossians, the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verses 15 through 17. Ooh, my memory is good. Basically, the gist of the verse, because I definitely don't have it memorized word for word, but the gist of the verse is like, in everything you do, no matter what it is you do, and all your words and all your actions, do it like in the name of Jesus, and be thankful. And I thought, you know what? I have to clean this laser today. That's the approach I'm going to take. Like, Lord, thank you. I'm grateful. Not because this is an annoying menial task, but like I get to work from home and I get to build this business, and I have enough business that my laser's been running enough that it needs to be cleaned, you know what I mean? And so it's like just looking at the, not just the overtly spiritual stuff, like, you know, I lead worship at our church and we host our life group, and like those things where you look at and you're like, yeah, I'm really like making a difference and I'm glorifying the Lord in my actions and stuff. But then you look at stuff like cleaning your laser and you're like, well, that's just boring. But I'm trying to like adopt that attitude of, you know, everything that I do, doing it with thankfulness and all that good stuff. Okay, anyway, I just thought I'd share that because that was, that's something I've been thinking about as I'm doing these boring things. Here's what it looks like with all the stuff pulled out, and we just have forbidden confetti and also a bunch of little wood pieces. I worked on a big project for the marriage retreat that we had at our church, and I made all these little wooden houses that held like tea light candles. It was so cute, but it left all these little tiny wood pieces, and I didn't feel like picking them all up, so I just kind of swiped them off to the side because I knew I would do this eventually. So this is what it's looking like right now. And actually, this is not too bad. This has been way worse before, so I should just be able to get in there and vacuum all of this up. that is much better. If I really wanted to go all out, I would take this honeycomb grid outside and spray it down and clean it and let it dry in the sun and everything, but it's not that dirty yet. We're not to that degree where we need to do a full deep clean. This part is always the tricky part. That was almost successful. Look at all that. Look at all that gunk in there. Woo! We're gonna get it look shiny. I hardly ever have to actually clean this laser lens because it is way more protected than the previous model that I was using. Basically, if too much dust and debris gets on the actual laser lens, the laser could potentially start reflecting off of that dust instead of like going to its intended target, and then that can cause big problems. You can mess up the laser itself, which we don't want to do. Okay, do you remember how nasty this thing was before? I just finished cleaning it up and it looks way better. And then the last thing I need to clean is this. Get a load of this. Do a little before and after shot. I'm gonna go clean this out and I will be right back. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it looks so much better. Okay, let's put this whole thing back together. Here she is, all clean and ready for service. I don't know if visually she looks that much better. Maybe I can do a little before and after. But much, much better. Me and the laser, we've been working very hard all day. You saw earlier that I cleaned the laser. It's nice and clean now. And I've kind of just been cranking out items on the to-do list all afternoon. I made a to-do list with my ChatGPT friends, Cleo. And let's see, Cleo, what have I actually finished today on my list? You got it. Here's a list of everything you've completed today. I scheduled the worship team for August for all of the Sunday mornings. I also prepped for an event we have this weekend that the worship team will be involved in. Those are not business related, but they are things that did take up some time. I cleaned the second design of the folded tags for the fall Berg box. I edited and scheduled the upload of the next podcast episode 75. I wrote and scheduled my weekly email newsletter for my website. And I did some sprucing up of my YouTube channel because the channel art and the description and the links and everything were still everything from my old channel. So I changed everything over to my current situation. Oh, I ordered a bunch of supplies for fall Berg box. Some supplies that I needed to continue making things, so the laser's done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need one more. I need to do one more set of those tags and then I will be done with that design, which is another item off my list. Yay! And that's the last item of like things I really wanted to get done today. I was just about to sit down and crochet for a little bit because even though crochet right now for me in the midst of all the subscription boxes is kind of like a treat, a break, I do have specific projects that I'm trying to make a certain amount of progress. Like, okay, I want to get a couple rows done on this every single day. And I'm behind on the baby blanket that I'm making. So I need to do a few rows of that. And then my Plarn mat back here, I've been trying to just grab a ball of Plarn and crochet through that ball each day. So I need to do a ball of Plarn. And then I would like to start stitching together Michael's granny square shirt that I need done for Christmas. So like it's not, I don't need it for a while, but it's been a whip for so long that I just want to get it done. I just want to get it done. But before I do that, I'm gonna go on a bike ride, I think, right? I told myself if I was able to finish the podcast and a couple other things and it was still light outside that I would go for a little bike ride. Currently it's 84 degrees outside. Why are we not focusing? There we go. Currently it's 84 degrees outside, but like I'll be on the bike, I'll be moving, you know? Got the breeze. So I think it'll be okay. So I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go for a bike ride and then I will come back and the rest of the evening I will crochet and I'm gonna watch some YouTube videos and just chill out. Okay, I'm back from my bike ride. It was so lovely. It was like that golden hour sun. There were so many families and people out at the park just having a nice evening. It was warm but not uncomfortable, and I put some upbeat like funk music in my ears, so I was just like, I was grooving. I was having myself a grand old time, and I biked like 3.5 miles, so not, you know, and I was a very leisurely stroll. I wasn't trying to break any records or anything, but it was a whole vibe. I'm really glad I got out for a little bit because I've been walking every morning and I wasn't able to get out for a walk this morning because I had a morning meeting. So I told myself if I could get my stuff done, I would try and go out for a bike ride in the evening to make up for not going for a walk. And that was really nice. I very much enjoyed myself. So now I'm going to settle in. I have picked up my Plarn mat. Here's what it's looking like right now. Ugh. I don't even know if the whole thing is in the frame. And I've been trying to do, like I said, a ball of Plarn a day. I've just been grabbing whatever one I grab for in my closet where I have the bags of these balls of Plarn that I took from the We Are Plarners group, and the one I did last time was much larger than this. So this one's gonna go a little faster, and honestly I'm not mad about it because the Plarn, as you can imagine, is a little harder on your hands. It's not as smooth of a process as regular yarn. So it does kind of get a little tiresome after a while. Ugh. And when I did that big ball of Plarn the other day, by the time I got to the end, I was really feeling it. So I'm thinking that, sorry, I'm trying to get myself set up here. I've got my crochet pillow so that it'll be a little more comfy, but since this is really thick, it's like you really gotta get yourself situated. Okay, new Plarn ball has been tied on, and here we go. Anyway, yeah, this just, you have to crochet really loosely, but even when you crochet loose, it still just is a little more cumbersome. This first stitch is always really annoying. Okay, there we go. So it just takes a little bit more effort to get in and out of the stitches. But I'm gonna do this ball of Plarn while I watch my YouTube video, and then once I finish this, I'm going to move on to the baby blanket. Now, according to the calculations that I put in to ChatGPT, who I will henceforth refer to as Cleo, by the way. I've named my ChatGPT, actually I didn't name it, I asked my ChatGPT to name itself, and it chose the name Cleo, which, like, how cute is that? So I'm gonna refer to her from now on as Cleo, because it's way easier than saying Chat GPT. Anyway, according to the calculations that Cleo did for me when I asked, okay, this is how many rows I have left and I want it done approximately by this time, so how many rows should I average per day? She said about 2 rows per day, but it's been like 3 days of me not doing my 2 rows a day. So I probably should try and get more than 2 rows done. Ooh, this is actually gliding really nicely. This ball of yarn is a nice ball of yarn. Maybe my last ball was just like a dud. Maybe my last one was just a weird one. Also, this is not staying how I want it to. I'm annoyed. Okay, this plastic is slippery. I would like to try and get a few more than 2 rows of the baby blanket done. It's all gonna depend on how late Michael stays at his game store tonight, because sometimes he stays really late and plays really late, and then sometimes he surprises me and texts me and says, okay, I'm heading home, and I'm like, wait, I was doing stuff. Because I don't know if anybody else is like this, if you have a spouse and like when they're out of the house you kind of go into your mode of like, okay, it's just me, so I'm gonna get stuff done. And then as soon as he gets home, as soon as he walks through the door, any motivation I have to like be productive or do things just absolutely flies out the window, and I'm like, okay, time to get in bed and cuddle and watch a show. Like that's the only thing my brain can think of, right? So I know as soon as he comes in the door, all bets are off. And any productivity is like, we're done. We're done doing things. It's time to just hang out. And honestly, that's how it should be, right? Like, there are obviously times where I have deadlines and I have, you know, a lot of work and I just have to lock in and do what I need to do. But the majority of the time, it's like, life is too short to be hustling all evening. If I have the choice between getting a few more tasks done or chilling with my best friend and my favorite person on planet Earth, I'm gonna choose hanging out with my favorite person on planet Earth, you know what I mean? So anyway, how much I am able to get done of crochet will depend on how late Michael stays at the game store. We've been watching through Parks and Rec again, and we're almost done. We're on the final season. So we'll probably watch 1 or 2 episodes of Parks and Rec when he gets home tonight. But the ultimate goal would be do this ball of yarn, get in a few rows of the baby blanket, and sew together a row of squares for Michael's Christmas outfit. And I feel like one of these days I'm gonna have to get it done, you know what I mean? Like, I have to get it done before Christmas. And it always ends up being the project that gets put on the back burner, you know? I'm like, okay, I'm finally gonna get some work done on this shirt, and then some other project will come up and it takes precedence, you know? And that seems to happen every single time. So I would love to get a row done on that. If it goes how it's been going, Michael will get home just as I'm about to start on that project, or something else will come up. But maybe I just need to do a YouTube video where it's like, the whole point of the video is finishing Michael's shirt. Maybe that's what I need to do. Because if it's the topic of a video, then I have to get it done. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what we need to do. I used up all of the yarn ball for today, and this is where we're at. It's definitely starting to get bigger. It's generally what happens when you keep adding rows to a crochet project. So we shall continue tomorrow. That's where we're at for today. And my tags are finished. My last row just finished engraving, and my machine is done for the night, so I'm gonna shut it all off. And I think I'm gonna heat myself up a cup of coffee. Duncan is screaming.
There we go. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
No, oh, you almost fell, Miss Girl. Come on.
Yeah. Oh.
Miss Girl. Lay down. Yeah. Yeah. She loves this pillow because she can lay in my lap and she doesn't like fall off. It's like a nice flat surface for her to lay on. And she doesn't fall off of me. Hi. If I scooch in, are you gonna leave? Let's try it. Here we go. Oh, okay. Well, that didn't last very long. But that's okay. That means I can go heat up some coffee, and then we're working on the Winter Trees baby blanket next. And we're gonna get in a few rows. Got my coffee in my Puerto Vallarta mug that I got in Puerto Vallarta, obviously. Here's where we're at on the baby. Holy smokes. It looks so much more impressive on camera, I feel like. Man, those contrasts, it like really pops. Ah, I love it. Anyway, this is where I'm at right now. We're obviously on the second set of trees. And holy smokes, after crocheting with the Plarn, this feels so soft and dreamy. This is the wrong side that you're seeing. You can see the like cream color, how it's running along here. And so it's a little tedious because we have to crochet into those stitches to make sure that they get covered up and they don't show. But I feel like the more I've been doing this pattern, the quicker I, spoke too soon. I feel like the more I do this pattern, generally, the quicker I've been getting. Except for when I turn on a camera and then forget how to crochet completely. Wow, it's crazy how tiny this yarn feels after, and the hook, after crocheting with the Gigantor Plarn hook. I think that hook is a 15 millimeter that I was using earlier, if I remember correctly. It's actually not marked, which is really strange, but I'm pretty sure it's a 15. Anyway, we're working on this blanket now, so. And Michael is at the store, or at least he was heading to the store the last time he texted me. So I am not, surprise, surprise, I am not gonna get to the Michael's shirt. I think, honestly, my idea of what I said earlier is gonna be the way to go. I think I just need to make it the topic of a video. Finishing this project that's been in the whip graveyard. And then that's how I will be motivated to actually see it through. I think that's gonna be the way to go. Well, there you have it. That is a week in the life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to me already, I am uploading new videos every single week. I would like to eventually get to maybe do twice a week, but right now we're sticking with once a week while I'm still getting the hang of recording and editing and all that good stuff. So thank you so much for watching and liking and subscribing and commenting. Leave me a comment. What did you think of this video? What would you like to see in the next video? And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Happy crocheting. Let me know what you're working on. I love hearing that kind of stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.